fun is important, and it's not taught. I think we're taught to grow up and be responsible, and I think that at the end of a life, what kind of life do you want to live? At a very young age, I started to recognize the value in objects merely from trying to understand my own past, because I grew up in a broken home and my mother wasn't in the home, and I would find pictures of this family unit that existed before I was born, but I never got to experience that. My brothers did because they're older than me. So I started to kind of was seeking, I think unconsciously was seeking to understand my past at a very young age, simply through just the discards from that were all around, that were present in the house that I grew up in. That is a great deal of why I live the way I live, because all of this stuff is kind of like breadcrumbs on the path to home. My work is very much a process of discovery. And what I mean by that is, like, I might have like a roadmap of what I think it is and or what it's intended to be, but my work is about found and ephemeral objects. And it is the combination of those found objects that are kind of like words in a sentence. So this project is a curiosity cabinet of sorts for the Autry Museum. And it is dedicated to the legacy around Wild West shows, and how the history of and how they've helped shape and mold society in some ways, and the dark and the light that's associated with it. There's 8 sections to this piece, and so I'm specifically kind of doing a dance all around the piece, back and forth, with decorations and elements that I feel suit each different section. But it's the nature of my process, and also, the nature of my process doesn't afford me to do one section at a time. I kind of have to do them all at once. So I'm constantly kind of dancing back and forth with the decorations that I found and foraged, and that's how I'm growing this piece from the ground up. I might think I know, for me, what the combination of these elements might be alluding to, but it's completely different for someone else. And I love that.
Oh my God.
I built this found object tree, this 15-foot tall tree made of playful things. And in that process of building that tree, You know, there's over 1,000 elements went into making that. And one of the elements that ended up in that tree was this old, I could tell it was very old, this old tennis racket. And then opening night of that exhibition, this old man came up to me when he realized I made this thing. And he's like, that tennis racket, that's my tennis racket. I had that tennis racket when I was a kid. My dad bought it for me. And he was, it unleashed him and invited him into the work in ways that I never anticipated. And it was so rewarding just to see that connection.
Because they're all just waiting there to be oh my God! There's a giant bowl of their guts. I'm going into space into outer space! No. See you later! Wait, we're in outer space! We're in outer space!
I love walking up on, especially with my larger art installations when they're fully activated. And when I say fully activated, I mean fully alive. When they're you know, there's, you know, a bunch of people connecting and sharing in a moment. I started to kind of conceptually realize too that every time I walked up to these art installations, that there was stories being told. And then I started to realize, I'm like, these are kind of like storytelling machines. I've been really fortunate and blessed to have experienced some pretty incredible stories, and I've been touched and moved in ways that validate everything that I do, and I get emotional even remembering some of these experiences. There's this thing that used to belong to my mom. It's this kind of thing called the Desiderata, and there's all kinds of lore and mystery around this artifact, this writing. But my mom, it meant something to her, and I wanted to put that in my art car. I was at one of these gatherings. There was this guy. He also was at a point in his life where he was like felt broken and hurt. And sitting in that car and reading that and being surrounded by loving and people, like, he was able to process some trauma that he had spent, he said, a good part of his life not being able to process. And like, my art had something to do with that. And that, like, that's just amazing. It's beautiful. And, you know, my work doesn't only inspire fun and joy and whimsy, but it inspires healing and connection. And, you know, I certainly see a real value in fun and whimsy, not just as an escape, but as a key to learning, as a key to finding a safe place to experience and process things that may not be rooted in fun and whimsy. I know it's what I'm meant to do. I know that all of this is part of my journey, and this is why I'm here. And I think it's rad. You know, it's amazing. And it's rad and amazing. Yeah.